Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here to break down the 9-game NBA main slate here on Saturday. A couple things before I get in the video. If you're new to the channel, my name's DK. I do daily breakdowns here of our daily fantasy talk and NBA as well as NFL DFS. Also, I'm doing a weekly giveaway on this channel where all you have to do is leave a like and a comment in the video. It's one entry in the giveaway. Max one comment though per video. It'll start with my Monday Night Showdown video that I uploaded at the beginning of the week. We'll go throughout the week. We'll end up my Monday Night Showdown video at the end of the week. So however many videos I've uploaded for that week, you enter the giveaway that many times. So if I have 10 videos uploaded for the week, you enter the giveaway 10 times. And the winner receives $20 PayPal for myself. With that out of the way, let's jump into the video. So first, let's look back to see how we did on Friday. My late night went pretty well. So let's go over my late night. I can show you guys my main as well. Main was a bit of a letdown. Yogi Ferrell, Kuzma kind of sunk my lineup. But this is my late lineup here. Those Golden State guys were pretty low owned. I understand the bad matchup, but still, it's an 8-man rotation. So, Bowman and Burks are my favorite guys in the Golden State guys, or on the Golden State Warriors for their prices. So played those two. Kind of ran back with Jokic. I talked about him in my video. Really liked him. No one will be able to stop him on Boston and the recency bias, right? So I think he was 8.6K, put up 64 fantasy points. He was pretty big. Then I ran it back with kind of the game stack of Houston and the Clippers with PJ Tucker, Montrez, Paul George, and Westbrook, and then Cantor as a value play. So the late night was pretty solid. My main lineup here, I can go over my main lineup really quick. Main lineup was a disappointment. So this is what I went with here with Terry Rozier, Beal, Kuzma, Porzingis, Tristan Thompson, Dinwiddie, Bjelica, Yogi Ferrell. So again, guys like Kuzma and Yogi Ferrell sunk my lineup. There just wasn't a whole lot of great value plays. I tweeted out my player pool. Other guys that I had in the value plays in my player pool got there, like DeAndre Bembry was huge. I think he put up like 43 fantasy points. My whole issue with Bembry was Atlanta just had a lot of other wings. So I didn't see him playing like huge minutes, but he ended up playing. He played well, and they gave him huge minutes. So he was the value play you really wanted. Also, those Golden State guys. Didn't run it back from my main lineup. Again, Porzingis, I had him in there. The game blew out. Tristan Thompson, again, that game blew out. Beal and Rozier, I like that game as part of game stack. Beal is pretty good. Rozier, a bit disappointing. Dinwiddie, again, that game blew out. This game blew out as well. So, again, the blowouts kind of, let me down here. Bjelica, Yogi Ferrell was a letdown. I really thought he would get more minutes, Yogi Ferrell, for Sacramento with no Bogdan, but they ended up going with guys like Jeffries and Justin James, who had, like, never been in the rotation. They gave Justin James, like, 33 minutes. So, I thought those minutes would have went to Yogi. They didn't. And to add insult to injury, Yogi Ferrell did not get the garbage time when the game blew out. So, yeah, that kind of hurt. But, overall, even though the late won, it was a losing night for me overall. But let's see if we can keep it going here or get back on the winning track for Saturday. We got a nice 9-game slate for Saturday. Before we get into the prices, let's look at the over-unders and the spreads. So this Phoenix-Minnesota game will not be on the main slate. That'll be a showdown slate. But we'll start here with the Bulls. Hornets at 218 with the Bulls favored by 2. Magic Pacers at 201.5 with the Pacers favored by 7. Miami, Philadelphia will be a good game to watch. Not necessarily for fantasy-wise, though. Philadelphia favored by 5 points. Spurs, Knicks at 217 with the Spurs favored by 2.5. Raptors, Hawks sitting at 223.5 with the Raptors favored by 8. Lakers, Grizzlies at 224.5 with the Lakers favored by 7.5 points. Blazers, Cavs sitting at 224 with the Blazers favored by 4. We still are waiting on Damian Lillard news. They said he's going to make a game-time decision. Bucks, Pistons at 227.5 with the Bucks favored by 12.5 points. And the late-night hammer is the Pelicans, Jazz sitting at 220.5 with the Jazz favored by 7.5 points. So as always, we will start with center here. And at the top is Anthony Davis at 10K. Back-to-back games now have over 60 fantasy points. He's really turned it on here. 34 and 33 real-life points. Now he gets a pretty solid match here against Memphis. So no issue with Davis at 10K. I think he's been a bit up and down, right? I don't know if he's necessarily underpriced, but the last couple of games, 61 and 62 fantasy points has been really solid. So if you want to continue to ride that hot streak, you can. I don't mind him as a spend-up. I just don't necessarily know if I'm going to go there on this slate. Embiid at 9.2K. So again, this game I'm going to like to watch. Not necessarily for DFS purposes. So there should be two really solid defensive teams. But, even even though Miami is solid defensively, 9.2K is still a bit underpriced for Embiid. I think he's more of a 10K player, so I think he would probably be my favorite Philadelphia 76er here at this price, because we know he can get you like 50 to 60 fantasy points in almost any matchup. So yeah, I'm considering Embiid even in a tougher matchup there at 9.2K. So Siakam, him and Fred VanVleet, again, are just playing huge minutes. Those last 2 games, 35 and 35 minutes, were because of the blowout. If this game stays close, they're going to play for over 40 minutes, him and Fred VanVleet. It's a good spot, so you just got to hope Atlanta can keep this close. If they can, I think Siakam and Fred VanVleet could have a pretty big game. Gobert is in a crush spot here against the Pelicans. We have no Derek Favors. I believe Okafor is still questionable. Yeah, he's questionable, and Favors, I believe, was already ruled out. Yeah, so once again, the Pelicans are going to be thin up front. Gobert could be going up against the likes of Jackson Hayes, Nicole, and Melly. Yeah, he should be able to crush there. In that game against Golden State in 35 minutes, put up 47 fantasy points. Now, again, he gets a really good spot here against the Pelicans, so you got to consider him here at 8.8K and just a really, really good spot. Drummond at 8.3 is an intriguing play here. I like the price on him a good amount. It's just, this game definitely has some blowout risk. That's always kind of the case here with Milwaukee. Milwaukee's been really good this year, so that's kind of like the downside of like targeting guys like Giannis and Bledsoe are the blowout risks. But if the game stays close, I think those guys have a big game. If this game stays close, I think Drummond could have a big game. Going up against a guy like Brook Lopez should not be able to hang with Drummond. So at this price at 8.3K, I do like him. Again, it's just the concern of the blowout factor. Sabonis, you guys know, he is my boy. I love this price here at 8.1K. In close games, he's going to play 35 plus minutes. Now, in back-to-back games, these were blowouts. 30 minutes against Milwaukee, 29 against Brooklyn. Both those games were blowouts. 34 and 47 fantasy points in blowouts. If the game stays close, I think he could crush. And we have no Vucevic and no Aaron Gordon. Both those guys are pretty solid defenders. Now we could be going up against the likes of like Khem Birch and like, I don't know who they would start at power forward. Maybe they'll move Amino down to power forward. We'll see what Orlando does to the starting lineup. But either way, Sabonis at this price, I like him a good amount here. I know it's a slow-paced game, but the Pacers starters just play huge minutes. And again, Orlando missing Aaron Gordon, missing Vucevic. So I do like Sabonis a good amount there at 8.1K. Kevin Love at 8K going against Portland, and we have no Whiteside. So he'll be probably going up against the likes of like Carmelo on defense, or maybe they'll try to throw Scal on him for a little. Either way, this is a pretty good spot for Kevin Love. Now, he's been very, very up and down, but I would have confidence in him if Damian Lillard does miss, because then I think Cleveland can definitely keep this one close. Cleveland's been so bad, right? They got blown up by Dallas, but if Lillard misses, this would be an intriguing game to get some pieces to. You could go like Kevin Love, maybe Tristan Thompson, then run it back with like CJ, maybe Scal, Melo, some of those guys. So this would be an intriguing game stack if Damian Lillard does miss. If Damian Lillard plays, then there's a little bit more blowout risk. But again, Kevin Love at that price, a bit up and down, but a pretty good spot here going up against Portland. Bam Adebayo, again, this is kind of my same analysis with Embiid. It's not a good spot, but this price tag is pretty appealing at 7.4K, and they're going to need him to guard Embiid. Now, the concern with Bam is there's definitely some foul trouble risk. Now, he's been doing a good job of staying out of foul trouble this year, but he's not faced a center like Embiid in a long time, right? He played the Cavs, Pelicans, Cavs, Chicago. So he hasn't played like a really, really good center in a little bit. Embiid is definitely a really good center. So there is some foul trouble risk, but if he stays out of foul trouble, I do like the price there at 7.4K. Aldridge at 7.2K. The Spurs in general just kind of hard to target, but the price of 7.2K is okay. I think I probably prefer other plays, but don't mind him if you want to go there at 7.2. Let's see, Randall, I do like the price on him a decent amount at 6.8K. He's just going to play like mid-30s minutes in a close game. This is actually a pretty good spot here against San Antonio. Bigs have been doing really well against them, and they've been playing at a faster pace. So at this price at 6.8K, I do kind of like the upside on him. So yeah, I'm very much considering Julius Randle here at 6.8K. The Chicago guys, Chicago's been really bad as well. Like Markkanen, Wendell Carter Jr., Levine. I'm a little torn here because this is a really good spot against Charlotte, right? We just saw Washington I don't know how many points. They scored a lot of points against Charlotte last night. Charlotte, not a good defensive team. The downside here is just the Bulls have been playing really bad. They've been giving the bench some more minutes, but this could be a bounce back spot here for these Chicago starters. So Markkanen, Wendell Carter Jr., and Levine, I'm all a little bit torn on, but I wouldn't mind going there in a buy low opportunity in a really good spot. And I think those guys go a bit lower owned because of recency bias, but very much considering those big three there for Chicago. Markkanen, Wendell Carter Jr., and Levine. Next, we got Valanciunas at 6.2K. I don't know if I want to do it against the Lakers. He had a surprise letdown game against Golden State with only 18 fantasy points. Again, I think the price is okay, but against the Lakers, probably not for me. Now, Tristan Thompson's intriguing here at 6.1K. Played him last night in my main lineup. The game blew out, right? So we got him a bit unlucky, but in 26 minutes, put up 28 fantasy points, right? The recency bias had him pretty low owned after he let down a lot of people, 17 fantasy points that game against the Knicks. If this game stays close, I think he plays, low to mid 30s minutes. And at this price tag, I still think he's very much playable. So, and he'll probably, no Whiteside too. So that's a big boost to, rebounding Tristan Thompson. The Trailblazers are one of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA. And with no Whiteside, that's a huge boost to Tristan Thompson, who gets a lot of his fantasy points on offensive rebounds and putbacks. So I'm very much considering Tristan Thompson here at 6.1K. Again, this game would get a boost if Lillard misses, because then I think the Cavs can keep this one close. Miles Turner at 6K, I still think is very much in play. Again, back-to-back blowout games where they only played 33 and 30 minutes. But in close games, these Pacers starters play huge minutes. They play like high 30s minutes. And we got no Vucevic, too. That's a huge boost to Miles Turner. He's going to go against like Kem Birch, and then they got Mo Bamba off the bench. So it's a pretty good spot for these Indiana guys. So very much considering Miles Turner as well. Al Horford is another guy that the matchup not necessarily the best here, but the price is pretty appealing at 6K. Again, Embiid, I think I would prefer Embiid if I was going to play a Philadelphia 76ers guy, but don't mind Horford here. He seems pretty safe at this price tag at 6K. Like, I don't think he's going to go out there and burn you and get you like 10 fantasy points. I think he probably gets you somewhere between like 25 to 35, so he seems pretty safe at that price. Let's see, other options, so Scal. I really liked him the other night there. What was it, Thursday night? Now he gets a spot against the Cavs. Pretty good spot. But he's also way priced up, right? 5.6K is, that seems like a lot to pay for Scal BCA. Now, they started Anthony Tolliver last game. I don't know if they can do that again. They might have to start Scal here. We will see. If Scal starts, that'd obviously be a boost to his minutes. I think he could get into like the low 30s minutes. So that will be something we have to monitor. I don't think we can expect 56 fantasy points again from Scal, but if he starts, I think he's in play here, even at an elevated price point. Brook Lopez, never a guy I get super excited about, but Detroit runs big, so maybe he gets a few extra minutes. He was pretty good against them in the playoffs last year. Really, took it to Drummond. So I wouldn't mind going there 5.3K. Again, Detroit runs big. Cody Zeller, just the minutes for the secondary Hornets guys are just all over the place. Like, if I knew he was going to play 30 minutes, I would really like him. But, again, 25, 16, 15, 22, the minutes are just down on him right now. So I just don't think I can do it. Same thing with PJ Washington. They're just all over the place. Jaren Jackson Jr. not on this slate. Let's see. Other options. Nance with like Tristan Thompson, Kevin Love healthy. I just don't want to do it. Jackson Hayes at 4.8K. So they've been running a bit more small ball recently last couple games. I don't know if they can do it against Utah. Utah always has Gobert out on the floor. So this could be a game where Jackson Hayes might be asked to play a few more minutes. I don't know if Nikola Melli can stay with Rudy Gobert. So at 4.8K, I think he's very much consideration. I think I would only go there if Okafor is out. If Okafor plays, then they would have 3 healthy bigs, and then I would be like a stay away. But if Okafor misses, again, I don't know if Nikola Melli can stay with Rudy Gobert. So I would consider Jackson Hayes there at 4.8K. Other options, again, you could look to Melli if Okafor misses. I think I would slightly prefer Jackson Hayes because I think he just matched up better against Rudy Gobert. Now, Kem Birch, this is where we're going to get our value here for Orlando. We got no Vucevic and no Aaron Gordon. They said he's going to start at the center position here. In that game against Toronto, in 21 minutes, put up 17 fantasy points. So he's probably going to be asked to play some decent minutes. Now, I don't think he's going to play Vucevic minutes, right? Vucevic was playing like mid-30s minutes. I don't think Kem Birch plays like 35 minutes. I think he probably plays 25, maybe 30. But if he gets those type of minutes at 4.3K, he becomes one of the better value plays in the slate. So this slate in general, again, kind of lacks some value, but Khem Birch is standing out here at 4.3K, especially since he's starting. Gibson, Portis. I mean, if you're going to make me pick, I'm going to lean towards Bobby Portis off the bench here. Probably going to play low 20s minutes, but he can get you there at 4.2K. Christian Wood has been really good in limited time. Look at this. In 12 minutes against Atlanta, put up 31 fantasy points. In 18 minutes against Chicago, put up 33 fantasy points. Now, I just don't see him getting enough run with Blake Griffin and Andre fully healthy. But you could, I guess, play the blowout risk. Maybe Milwaukee blows him out. Christian Wood can get you in garbage time. But on the main slate at 9 games, I don't know if I want to take a shot there. Now, Mo Bamba, I kind of expected him to start, but they said they're going to start Khem Birch at the 5. So I don't think Khem Birch plays 35 minutes. So I think Mo Bamba, the minutes will go up on him. I think he maybe gets 20 to 25. And at this price, at 4K, I think, again, another really solid value play. So I think Khem Birch is probably the safer play just because he's starting. He'll probably get more minutes. But wouldn't mind going Bamba either there at 4K. Let's see, other options. I don't think we have to go with these guys. And Tolliver started at the 5 last game, played 31 minutes. He's just a very, very low usage guy. Like, you're going to have him knock down those corner threes for him to get you there. If he doesn't, probably going to let you down. So on this slate, again, it does lack some value, but I think I would just prefer those Orlando Magic guys with Birch and Mo Bamba to Tolliver. But I think that's about it for center. So let's move on to power forward. Giannis at the top here at 12K. Again, my analysis with him is pretty much the same every time. It's just, there's no downside to him. It's just whether or not the opposing team can keep the game close. Now in the game against Portland kept it close. He played 36 minutes, got 80 fantasy points. In other games, right, there's been blowouts where he's only got 50 fantasy points. So there's no downside to Giannis. The only thing is whether or not you think Detroit can keep this close. Detroit's been pretty bad, so I think there definitely is some blowout risk. It's a 12.5 point spread, so that is the only concern with Giannis. Ingram at 8.4K has been really, really good this year. Now it is a tougher match against Utah, and the price is up to 8.4K, right? Like, I really liked him there in the 7K range at 8.4. I think he's priced about right, maybe a little bit of upside still, but yeah, like I said, he's been really, really, really good. If you want to continue to ride the hot streak, you can. On this slate, though, and at that price, I don't know if I'm going to go there. So bonus, again, I really like him there at 8.1K. It's just, the blowout for the Pacers has happened back-to-back games, so the prices have gone down on those guys. But in close games, we know he's going to play 35 or so minutes. So I do like Sabonis a good amount there at 8.1K. Other options, so Jonathan Isaac at 7.5K. I know there's no Aaron Gordon and there's no Vucevic. So Jonathan Isaac going to have to take a big step forward here. But 7.5K for him, that seems like a lot. So can he get you there at that price? I still think he can, but I'm probably going to look elsewhere on the slate. Like, I'm just going to lean towards those value guys with Birch, Bamba. I'll talk about Aminu here in a sec. But yeah, 7.5K for Isaac, I don't know if I can do it. Blake Griffin at 7.2K. Ben, kind of disappointing. I think I would just rather pay the extra 1,000 for Drummond, who right now I think has more upside. Marcus Morris, the black hole here at 7K. He's so up and down, but we know he's going to shoot the ball a good amount when he's out there. And it's a pretty good match here against San Antonio. So if you want to continue to ride the hot streak, you can. I think he's more in play just for GPPs, but it is a good spot here against San Antonio. They have been playing at a faster pace this year. Let's see, other options. Bojan Bogdanovic, I think is viable. He's just very, very scoring dependent. Doesn't do a whole lot of, get peripheral stats. I think on the Utah side, my main targets right now are Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. Jabari Parker at 6.3K. Now, the game did blow out. He only played 21 minutes, but in a close game, I think he gets like 30 or so minutes. So, yeah, I think he's okay. He has flashed a little bit of upside, but don't necessarily know if I want to go there on this slate. Again, Horford seems kind of safe there at 6K. TJ Warren, very, very scoring dependent. I think I would just prefer to play guys like Sabonis and Miles Turner on the same team. Let's see, Miles Bridges. So back-to-back games of pretty good, pretty solid fantasy points, right? In 33 minutes and 35 minutes, put up 25 and 47 fantasy points. Now the concern is everyone is healthy, so I don't think those minutes are necessarily secure, right? In the game against the Knicks, only played 15 minutes. In the game against Toronto, only played 28. So if he's playing bad, they could, sub him out. So that is a concern. But a 5.3K, I think he's in play for GPPs. OG and Anunoby at 5.3. I actually don't mind this play. Again, back-to-back games of blowouts, only played 27 and 23 minutes. I think in a close game, he probably gets 30 to 35 minutes. And at this price, in a pretty solid matchup, I do kind of like him here. DeAndre Hunter at 5.1. Back-to-back really solid games for him. He's been a very, very low usage guy this season, but he's starting to turn it on here. 27 to 18 real-life points, 46 and 28 fantasy points. Now, again, the matchup not necessarily the best here, but I think he's okay at 5.1. Carmelo at 5K. I liked him in that when he was below 4K, but I actually still think I think I would still consider him if Damian Lillard misses. If Damian Lillard plays, I'm going to stay away. There's just, Damian and CJ eat up too much of that usage. But if Lillard is out once again, then Carmelo's kind of the number 2 in the offense. So I would consider him only if Damian Lillard does miss. Again, Kuzma was a bit of a letdown, and the price went up. I don't know if I want to go there. Amino at 4.8K, so I think he's probably going to start at the 4 and probably play like close to 30 minutes. At 4.8K, he's very, very much in play. Again, you got him, you got Ken Burch, and you got Bamba as value plays right now. So I know the game in general not super appealing, but these guys are going to have to play some pretty big minutes. So don't mind Amino at all there, 4.8. Let's see, other options. I don't think we have to go with any of these guys, really. Yeah, I really think that's about it for power forwards. Let's move on to small forward. LeBron at the top at 11.1. Don't mind him at all here. Again, seems really safe. He's been getting like over 50 fantasy points almost every single night. It's a pretty good spot here against Memphis. In a close game, we'll play 35 or so minutes. It is a back-to-back, so maybe limit his minutes a little bit, but I think he's pretty safe here at 11.1K for sure. Now, Jimmy Butler at 8.6K. Revenge game narrative here against Philadelphia. The downside is Philly's been really solid defensively. They're one of the best defensive teams, in the league. But I still think, Butler's playable here. In a revenge spot, in a close game, he's going to play high 30s minutes, right? He's been playing like almost 40 minutes a night in close games. And this game should probably stay close. It is a revenge game narrative. Again, not necessarily the best spot, but I still think he's playable there at 8.6K. DeRozan at 7.8. He had a pretty solid game, or 3 straight, actually, pretty good games. 53, 45, and 41 fantasy points is a good spot here against the Knicks, but you are kind of paying a premium for him. 7.8K. He seems priced about right. So don't hate him, but I don't think he's the best play. Let's see. Ben Simmons at 7.7K. The price is actually okay here. He's had back-to-back 50 fantasy point games. He's a guy that will fill up the stat sheet, which I do like. Again, not necessarily the best spot here, and I think I would prefer Embiid for a bit more on the same team. But don't hate Simmons. Again, that game will be pretty fun to watch. Let's see, what else here? Fournier at 6.4K. He's going to have to step it up with no Aaron Gordon and with no Vucevic. I think he's okay. It's just, I never get super excited about playing Fournier. And at 6.4K, it seems like kind of a lot to pay for him. But again, there's a lot of usage to ground with no Aaron Gordon and with no Vucevic. Tobias Harris at 6.4K. Again, don't mind him. I think he's okay there. Josh Richardson is a revenge spot. But again, how many Philadelphia guys do you really want in a bad matchup here against Miami? What else we got? Shaq Harrison, don't know if I want to go there, 5.3K. He had a big game 2 games ago, 45 fantasy points. In the game against Miami, 23 minutes, got 24 fantasy points. So he has been pretty solid. It is a good spot. But, yeah, I think I would prefer paying a little bit more for guys like Levine, Markkanen, and Wendell Carter Jr. Let's see. DiVincenzo at 5.1K. I just don't think there's enough meat on the bone there. Justin Holiday with Jeremy Lamb back. I can't do that. So Terrence Ross is an intriguing play at 4.9K. Again, there's just a lot of usage around with no Vucevic and with no Aaron Gordon. I could see him coming out the bench and maybe getting into the 30s minutes. And he's a guy that I don't necessarily like playing for DFS because he's very, very scoring dependent. But again, there's just so much usage to go around. And at 4.9K, I think he's very much in play here. Other options, Batum I actually think is playable right now. Just because the minutes have been pretty secure for him. 29, 25, 26, and 28 minutes off the bench. It's a pretty decent spot. He's a guy that will fill up the stat sheet. So on a slate that kind of lacks some value, don't hate him. I think I'd prefer those Orlando value guys, but I think Batum is playable. So Bembry is intriguing here, 4.3K. I think he'll be really popular if where's Atlanta here? If Cam Reddish misses. I believe Cam Reddish is questionable for this one. I'm missing. There's Atlanta. So he only listed as a power forward. But where is... Oh, they have listed as shooting guard. Okay, I thought that's kind of weird. But, okay, he's listed as questionable. If he misses once again, I think Bembry starts. And it's going to be intriguing because if Reddish misses, I think Bembry will be one of the most popular plays in the slate just because of recency bias. And he had a really good game. Played 35 minutes. Put up 45 fantasy points. Now, I don't think we're going to expect that again, but if Reddish misses, I think he probably gets 25 to 30-ish minutes. And I think he would be definitely in play as a value guy. I think he'll be really popular, but, again, there's a lot of minutes to go around. So wouldn't mind him there at 4.3K. And then there's just really no one to consider down here, in my opinion. Yeah, I really think that's about it. So let's move on to shooting guard. CJ at the top at 8.7K. I would only go there if Dame misses. If Dame plays, 8.7K is just too much for CJ. But if Dame misses, yeah, I wouldn't mind going right back to the well here. He's the main guy. So that's just kind of something we have to wait on. Drew Holiday at 8.2. It's a tougher matchup. I still think he can get you there at that price, but don't know if I would go there on this slate. Now, Donovan Mitchell, him and Gobert are kind of my main targets for the Jazz. The Pelicans played at a really fast pace, so I think those two guys have the most upside. And at 7.9K, I think there is a little bit of upside here. So don't mind Mitchell, don't mind Gobert. I think those are my main targets for the Utah side. Fred VanVleet, I like the price on him a good amount. It's a good spot here against Atlanta. Again, back-to-back games that blew out, 31 and 35 minutes. Still got 38 and 38 fantasy points. So if this game stays close, I think he plays 40-plus minutes. And it's a good spot. So I think Fred VanVleet is one of my favorite plays here at 7.3K. I just think he's really safe with upside. Devontae Graham at 7.1K. Him and Rozier are kind of the main targets here for Charlotte, just because those are the guys that play like consistent minutes every single night. Put up 42 fantasy points last night. Now you are kind of paying a premium for him at 7.1K, but I think he's still in play. So Aaron Holiday at 6.6 had a big game, that last game against Brooklyn. But now we get Jeremy Lamb back as well, so there's just more higher usage guys in the offense. And at 6.6K, I don't know if I want to go there in this slate. Again, Levine, he got benched, only played 29 minutes. He, kind of got into it with the coach a bit. So him, Markkanen, and Wendell Carter Jr., I think are the targets, but they're just very, very risky. I think I would go there as part of a game stack, but again, those guys have not been great this year. So Malcolm Brogdon is doubtful again, so that's why Aaron Holiday will start at point. Jeremy Lamb is going to be back for this one though. At 5.9K, I think he's playable. We just know the Pacers starters are going to play big minutes in a close game, so he'll probably play 35 or so minutes in a close game. And with no Malcolm Brogdon, there is a little bit of usage still to go around. So I actually think he is playable there at 5.9K. RJ Barrett is at an intriguing price here at 5.7K. The minutes have been a little bit up and down on him, but it's a good spot here against San Antonio. And the price is, pretty low. So I'm considering it here. I think Randall will probably be my favorite play on the New York side, but don't mind Barrett, don't mind Marcus Morris. Those are the guys that will play the big minutes on the New York side. See, other options like Forbes, Patty Mills, they're too much right now at 5.5 and 5.2K. Um, let's see, what else? Galloway was kind of popular, but now his price is going up too. I don't know if I want to go there. I mean, Clarkson, I guess you could consider him as part of a game stack. The minutes have been down on him, though, right? Only 17 and 15 minutes the last couple games. I think that's really it for value, or for shooting guard here. So let's move on to point guard. Trae Young at 9.8K. I think you could go there only for GPPs, right? Just because he had a down game against Detroit, only shot the ball 12 times. That's really, really surprising for Trae. Normally, he's a guy that will shoot like 20 plus times. So he's been a bit up and down, and the price is up. So I think he goes really, really low on the slate, but I think he's still playable for GPPs because we know he has 50, 60 fantasy point upside. But I definitely would not go there for cash games. Lillard, this is the big question mark of the slate. If he misses, then we can look to CJ. We can look to some, Melo, like Scal. Those guys would very, very much be in play. Let's see. So Bledsoe, again, there's really no downside to him and Giannis. It's just whether or not you think Detroit can keep this close. If you think they can, then I think one or maybe even both could have a pretty good game here. Again, Fred VanVleet is probably one of my favorite plays here at 7.3K. I just don't think that price is coming up there on enough on him. So I do really like him on this slate. Conley's viable as well at 7.2. It's just you're kind of paying a premium for him. I think I would prefer Donovan Mitchell and Gobert for a little bit more on the same team. But don't hate Conley. It's a really good spot here against the Pelicans. John Morant at 6.7 is an intriguing play here. Now, played 35 minutes in that last game against Golden State. Didn't play necessarily well, but put up 34 fantasy points. Now, my downside with him was just the minutes, right? He was playing like mid-20s minutes every single game. He was never playing the big minutes. But that last game against Golden State played 35 and didn't go to overtime. So now I'm considering John Morant. I know it's a tough spot here against the Lakers, but if he can play 35 minutes a night, then I really like him. So, I'm a little bit torn here just because I don't know if he's going to get that 35 again, but we know it's in his realm, right? Like, he was playing his minutes were capped at 30, but that last game played 35. So he's intriguing here at 6.7K. Again, Levine, Carter Jr., Markkanen, I think are intriguing buy low options. Have been really bad, but it is a good spot here against Charlotte. And you're getting them at really cheap prices. I don't think I can go with those guys in cash games, but for GPPs, all three of those guys very much intrigue me. Rozier at 6.3K was a little bit of a letdown. Still in 34 minutes, put up 29 fantasy points. At 6.2K, it's not going to kill you, right? Him and Devontae Graham are just the guys that are locked in for big minutes. This is a decent spot here against Chicago. The price is okay. Nothing like I'm super, super excited about, but don't mind him. I think I would go there as part of a game stack. Again, there's a lot of those guys in that game are fairly priced. Kendrick Nunn at 6.2K. It's a tough spot. The minutes have been a bit down on him too, right? Only 25 and 26 minutes. The concern is just they have other guys. Like they have Hero, they have Goran Dragic they can use. So at 6.2K and in a tough spot, I don't know if I want to go there. DeJounte Murray is always just a guy only in play for GPPs because they're capping his minutes. Let's see. Other options. I mean, Goran Dragic off the bench is more in play for GPPs, right? We'll play 25, maybe 30 minutes. What else? Rondo is an intriguing play as well. It's just the minutes were down on him the last game against OKC. I take that back. He got ejected. Got tossed in the fourth quarter. Okay, so I forgot about that. Before that was 27 and 24 minutes. So I think he probably plays mid-20s minutes in a close game. And at 4.9K, this slate, besides those Orlando guys and Bembry, not a whole lot of value plays. So I think Rondo would be a guy that I do kind of like at 4.9K just because, again, there's not a whole lot of great value plays. Monk, I think I would only go there as part of a game stack. The minutes just aren't huge on him, right? Low to mid-20s minutes. Fultz and Augustine are also interesting plays just because there's a lot of usage to go around in that Orlando offense. I think Fultz probably plays 25 minutes. We'll probably ask to do more on the offensive side. DJ Augustine off the bench, probably more the same, right? They kind of split the minutes. So those guys are are in play. I think I would probably prefer Birch, Aminu, Bamba to those guys, but yeah, they're going to have to do more on this offense. Lonzo Ball, another play that is interesting because they limited his minutes in his first game back and only played 19 minutes, put up 16 fantasy points. Again, not necessarily the best spot, but if he picks up the start, I think he would be one of my favorite value plays here, 4.5K, because I think he would probably play 25 to 30 minutes. So that will be something we'll have to monitor. Simons, I think I'd only go there if he starts and if Damian Lillard does miss. Let's see, other options. Dennis Smith Jr., that's only a GPP dart throw just because the minutes are all over the place. If he's playing well, though, like the game against Dallas, they will give him more minutes, right? He got 30 minutes in that game, so he's just like a dart throw GPP play. But I think that's really about it. So, again, guys, there's not a whole lot of great value. I think it's a little bit better than the slate last night, but the value plays right now, I think, are those Orlando guys. I think Rondo's a pretty solid value play. I think Lonzo Ball, if he starts, will be a pretty solid value play. And I think Bembry. I think those are the value guys I'm looking at right now. And then obviously there are some pretty intriguing spend ups as well. But I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. So if you have been enjoying the content, would really appreciate if you could like this video and subscribe. Again, if you want to get entered into the giveaway, all you have to do is like and a comment in the video. That's one entry in the giveaway. I will be live streaming on my YouTube channel probably 45 minutes before lock. So very important to check out the live stream. I will be going over injury news and breaking news, stuff like that as we get it throughout the day. Also, it's important to follow me on Twitter. That will be in the description below. But yeah, that's about it. So I will be back for another video to break down the NBA slate on Sunday. And then as well as I'll have my NFL breakdown for week 12, I think, main slate. I'll have that up later tonight. So be on the lookout for that. But thanks again, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you later.